Astros are back in Houston with a new look lineup. The homestand gets started tonight against the division rival Cincinnati Reds. Bud Norris faces the Reds for the first time this season. Next on Fox Sports Houston. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight it's the opener of a 6-game homestand. The Astros meeting the Cincinnati Reds. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays. The Astros now have a bunch of new players after the weekend. We'll get into that later on. And tonight's pitching matchup finds them meeting a guy who's been really tough lately, JD.
Yeah, if your glass is half empty, you think, oh no, the Astros are facing a guy who's 7-0 with a 1.74 ERA. In his last 7 starts. If your glass is half full, you say, this guy's been horrible this year. Had an ERA above 7 in the month of July. We'll find out which Bronson Arroyo shows up tonight. Bud Norris here in this ballpark has made 12 starts, 3-3 with a 2.93 ERA. He hasn't faced the Reds at all this year and only twice so far in his career.
Coming up from Minute Maid Park, it's the first of 3 with Cincinnati, Jose Altuve and the Astros, and you'll meet some of them for the first time. Come out against the Reds and Arroyo in just a moment. These guys are taking the field for the first time as Houston Astros. There's Jimmy Paredes going out to third base, and the center fielder Luis Durango, and first home game for J.D. Martinez in left field, and so on down the line. And you'll hear much more about them later on tonight. Meanwhile, the starting lineup for Dusty Baker's Reds. Score 53-55. including Texan Drew Stubbs in center field, Miguel Cairo at third base, Joey Votto at first base, Brandon Phillips is the cleanup man at second base. It's Jay Bruce of Beaumont in right field, Yonder Alonso in left field, Ryan Hannigan the catcher, Paul Janisch of Houston at shortstop, Bronson Arroyo is the pitcher.
Norris for the Astros tonight. He has made 58 career starts, and a bunch of them in this division. However, he's only started twice against the Cincinnati Reds. As you look at the breakdown there, a whole bunch of Cardinals against whom he has been very, very good. 8 starts against the Pirates and on down the list, but not a whole lot of exposure to these Reds hitters, and that should play in his favor here tonight as he takes the hill with a record of 5-7. Defensively, it's J.D. Martinez, Luis Durango, Jason Bourgeois. The new look Astros coming your way. Paredes at third, Barmes, Altuve, and Lee, and Humberto Quintero is the hind catcher.
And as Brad Mills had said to the media today, his job is all about working with the young players, telling them what's expected of them, and helping them as they join the Major League club for the first time in his second season as Astros manager. He has watched this club undergo a number of changes. And now as he looks out at the infield, the ball goes around the horn. It goes to Jimmy Paredes from Altuve. And now it goes to Bud Norris for the first pitch of the game tonight. Paredes just up from Double-A Corpus Christi. And the changeover including the fact that Chris Johnson and Brett Wallace were sent to Oklahoma City after yesterday's game. Norris with those recent starts, JD.
Yeah, it's St. Louis, a solid effort again, but we've come to expect that against the Cardinals. He seems to save his best for St. Louis. Solid work in the start before that against the Cubs.
Drew Stubbs goes for the first pitch, lines it to left. That's a hit in front of J.D. Martinez. And Stubbs is aboard. He is second in the league in runs scored with 72. And the Reds are second in runs scored with 508.
Stubbs wasting no time jumping on that first offering from Norris. Solid line drive single.
Norris 0-1 lifetime against the Reds in 2 starts with a 7.36 ERA. Miguel Cairo subbing for the injured Scott Rowland at third base brings a .277 average into the box with 5 homers. He's driven in 24. Stubbs is 4th in the league in steals with 26. He's been caught 7 times. Cairo has hit .288 in his last 22 games. Showing bunt and taking strike 1. Darryl Cousins, the crew chief, is the home plate umpire. Cairo hit a big pinch 3-run homer against the Mets on Thursday. But the Reds were swept at home in a 4-game series by the New Yorkers. They were 5-5 on their 10-game homestand.
Just 8-8 in the month of July, and the Reds slipping a little bit off the pace in the National League Central. Still have time to make a push and get back into it, and it needs to happen soon for them. They've got to leap over 3 clubs. Currently 6.5 games off the pace.
Bunted back to Norris. Norris takes the out at first to Carlos Lee on the sacrifice for Cairo from 1 to 3. Stubbs to second, 1 out.
Interesting. Reds sacrificing here, playing for a run in the first inning, and they've got a guy on the mound in Bronson Arroyo who has an ERA of 7.4 in the month of July. You would think they're thinking it would be more in terms of putting a big fat crooked number on the board.
Joey Votto, with 68 runs batted in, 7th in the league. He has 17 homers and a .319 average. He leads the league in on base average at .428.
Astros have a shift on for him with Barmes on the second base side of the bag. Altuve swinging around to plug the hole a little bit more to his left. A lot of room on the left side of the infield for Votto.
National League MVP last year. Watching Bud Norris with the spikes cleaning. Brandon Phillips is on deck as the Reds bat here, and they are coming off a 3-game weekend sweep of the San Francisco Giants, including a 9-0 win yesterday. Votto smacks one. Carlos Lee is there to take it and toss to Bud Norris for the second out. Stubbs advancing to third base.
Good time for that 2-out sac fly right here. Watch Votto open up the hips a little bit to get to that pitch. Hit it hard, but Carlos Lee well positioned. Everybody moving towards the right field line, and that time it took away a double from Votto.
Now it's Brandon Phillips. He became an all-star this year for the second time in his career. Right now he's on a 10-game hitting streak, 286, 10 homers. He's driven in 60. Phillips is 8th in the league in hits. There's strike one for Bud Norris. Last time out in St. Louis, Bud did an excellent job, giving up 4 hits, 1 earned run in 6 innings. Got a no decision. Left with the score tied 2-2. The Astros won it later 4-2.
The 2 games the Astros won on the road trip, they won that one, and then the next night they beat Jaime Garcia.
A roller out to Altuve. Norris going to cover, takes the throw for a 4-1 out number 3. It's no runs ahead. A runner stranded at third, no score. Yep. Some of those new names and faces on the Houston lineup. Luis Durango is the center fielder leading it off. He's followed by Jose Altuve at second base. Jason Bourgeois is in the number 3 spot again in right field. The cleanup man is first baseman Carlos Lee. With J.D. Martinez in left field. Clint Barmas at shortstop. Jimmy Paredes at third base. Alberto Quintero the catcher. Bud Norris the pitcher.
Veteran right-hander Bronson Arroyo for the Reds tonight, making his 22nd start. He's 7-9 with an ERA of 5.58. Home runs have really hurt him. He's allowed 30, more than anybody in Major League Baseball. League hits 297 against him. Left-handed hitters absolutely wearing him out. 344 batting average with 17 bombs. Astros don't have a whole lot of left-handed hitters, but see if they can get it done here against Arroyo tonight, who, despite those numbers, has been very, very good against the Astros in his career.
Switch hitting Luis Durango. Squares and takes the first pitch. It's ball 1. Durango has been in the majors before with the Padres in 09 and again last year. But a total of only 59 major league at-bats for Luis. He's 25 years old from Panama City, Panama. Again, he shows bunt and works the count to 2 balls, no strikes. He is a speedy outfielder who was claimed on waivers, and the Astros, who got him from the Padres, then sent him to Oklahoma City, where he hit 278. Stole 13 bases. Strike makes it 2-1. The Astros in the trades over the weekend obtained from the Atlanta Braves Jordan Schaefer, a speedy center fielder. He is on the disabled list right now, not eligible to return until August 11th. So Durango gets a shot at filling in for a while, and the count runs to 3-1 now.
Well, he's taking all the way on 2-0. He might be taking another one here.
He gets a strike called as Bronson Arroyo, and the count is full.
Ball was probably up a little bit. Durango trying to duck to influence Darryl Cousins.
Arroyo 11-6 lifetime against Houston with a 4.46 ERA. He's also beaten Milwaukee 11 times. Those are the top win totals for him against any opponent. 7 straight against the Astros for Arroyo. And that one's high for ball 4. Durango works a walk. Now Altuve will follow.
Kid Durango. He sounds like a fictional character.
Yeah, he does.
Let's take a look at the Reds defensively tonight. Alonso recently called up a first baseman naturally. Just moved to left field down at AAA, and that's a kind of a work in progress. We'll keep an eye on him tonight. Stubbs and Bruce cover center and right. Cairo, Giannis, Phillips, and Votto on the infield. Ryan Hannigan solid behind the plate. Left side of the infield in flux for the Reds with Scott Rowland banged up. He called up a kid Cozart from the minor leagues. He got hurt.
Jose Altuve at 359 puts a bunt down foul. There's strike 1 to Altuve with no homers, 2 runs batted in. Very good start to his major league career. He hit in his first 7 major league games to tie the franchise record for a rookie, and now he has hit in 10 of his 11 major league games. To get to those numbers, he had a 382 average on the 10-game road trip, going 13 for 34. 21-year-old native of Venezuela. Made the jump from AA Corpus Christi. Strike call, and Arroyo's out in front, 0-2.
Arroyo's going to throw a fastball well below major league average at this stage of his career, but typically can spot it pretty well. Very good breaking stuff. Feature big, slow curveball, and a slider and a changeup. He'll change his arm angle, drop down on you from time to time.
That's out towards shortstop. Diving. Giannis gets it to second. Sparkling play on to Phillips for the force on Durango. Paul Giannis of Rice University shows his wizardry with the glove.
Altuve gets a good piece of this one, despite the fact that he has to reach out for it. Still able to get the barrel on that ball and hit it with authority. Pretty play by Giannis, and Durango going in hard and late to make sure there's no double play, and he's lucky he didn't get hurt. Man, he hit that base hard.
Trying to jam his left knee into that bag.
Only get one chance to make a first impression, and he's going for it.
Jason Bourgeois ripped a 3-run homer yesterday in Milwaukee. It's his first of the season. There's strike 1 to Bourgeois. Look at it.
Thinking, well, I got to hit. If I'm hitting in the 3-hole now, I better hit for some power.
That came in the 4th inning off Chris Narveson. It gave the Astros a 3-2 lead, but they later lost it 5-4 yesterday. Ground ball and a double play. Here's Phillips tossing, and Giannis making the turn, 4-6-3 to end the first inning scoreless at Minute Maid Park.
cancer history. And it was on this date, August 1st, 1977, that Mark Lemongello went the distance. Astros beat the Pirates 4-3 in 11. Jose Cruz homer off Goose Gossage, a future Hall of Famer, was the winner.
Jose Cruz watching as the Astros begin this homestand at Minute Maid Park. 0-0 after one. It's Bruce, Alonso, and Hannigan due up in the Reds' second inning. Jay Bruce of Beaumont on a 5-game hitting streak. He's belted 21 long balls this season. But Norris delivers, and there's strike one to Bruce, who has 63 runs batted in with a .267 batting average for Jay. First time All-Star. Just 24. Change up makes it a 1-ball, 1-strike count for Bud Norris, shooting for win number 6 of the year. He has been outstanding at home with a 2.93 earned run average. That's ball 2, and it's 2-1 with Alonso to follow. The Reds have their first 3-game winning streak since mid-June, and they swept the Dodgers. That's to center field. Durango headed back toward Tal's Hill. Up on the hill. It goes all the way to the top of it. Bruce in with a double. 20th double of the season for Jay Bruce and a 6-game hitting streak.
That ball was crushed. That's out of a lot of Major League ballparks, but just up on the hill here. Well played by Durango. There was no way he was going to run this one down, so just pursue it. Make sure you don't mishandle and give him an extra 90 feet. Always a challenge for an outfielder playing that hill, especially for the first time and having to make a throw off of the hill.
Now Bud Norris looking over to Carlos Lee for positioning as Yonder Alonso bats. Alonso, a very good talent, as JD mentioned, has been moved from first base to left field. Cranks that one to left center. Another deep drive. Durango back on the warning track, leaping at the wall. Durango pulls it down. And here's the tag of the move to third by Bruce. Fabulous play by Durango on a long out number 1.
Pretty aggressive swing here by Alonso. A bid for extra bases taken away here. Nice play by Durango going airborne. Not sure he had to, but fine play anyway. Good heads up base running by Bruce to tag in advance.
The infielders move in now halfway for Ryan Hannigan, the catcher. Hannigan has done a nice job for the Reds. 251, 3 homers. He's driven in 20. Good defensive player. Takes a look at ball 1 with Paul Janisch on deck. Hannigan, since the All-Star break, is 7 for 23. Ryan turns 31 August 16th. He hit 300 last year for the Reds and 203 at bats.
I would suspect that the Reds would be pretty aggressive with Jay Bruce down there at third base, with Janisch on deck, who's had troubles offensively, and then Arroyo to follow.
Mark Berry, the third base coach, comes over. That's in for a strike, and it's 2-1 to Hannigan. The Reds are 6-3 against the Astros. The Reds 2-1 here at Minute Maid Park this season. The Astros have a return visit to Cincinnati coming up in mid-September. Fastball is there for a strike, and it's 2-2 to Hannigan.
Hannigan not happy at all with that call by Darryl Cousins. Thought the ball was off the plate inside, and as a hitter against a guy like Norris, if that's a strike, that really hurts you, because you're thinking about covering the outside corner and dealing with that hard slider away. And if that ball there, number 4, if that's called a strike, then it's a very tough night for a right-handed hitter against Bud Norris.
And he swings over the slider and strikes out. Right-handed hitters are hitting 189 against Norris.
Good depth on that slider, boy. Look at the downward tilt on that power slider from Norris.
Doug Brocail has run out to the mound with Paul Janisch coming up next. Janisch, a .229 hitter with no homers, has 19 runs batted in. Pitcher Bronson Arroyo's on deck with Paul batting.
I'm not sure what Broke had to say there. One of two things. This guy's not having a big year with the bat. Let's get after him, be aggressive. Or if you fall behind him, you don't have to give in. You got the pitcher on deck. But Arroyo swings the bat pretty well. Generally, this early in the ball game against a guy like Janisch in the 8-hole, just get him out. You don't worry about pitching around him or anything like that. But the Astros being a little bit undermanned in their lineup, they may be thinking a little bit differently. Your thinking tends to change when you don't score a lot of runs.
2-0 to Janisch, who was just promoted from AAA Louisville on Sunday. Paul's 28. Went to Cy Creek High School. Fastball runs up for ball 3, and it's 3-0.
Might have been a little better than the pitch to Hannigan.
Yeah, I think it was. Well, Bud was indicating ball 4.
I think Bud just put that on by himself.
Yeah, he did. He just motioned to Quintero to stand up. He was going to throw ball 4 intentionally.
He's just going to take charge of matters here.
He decides to face Bronson Arroyo with runners at first and third, 2 outs. Here's the way that happened.
Q was looking into the dugout to get some kind of directive. Bud's going, let's just go ahead and do it.
Arroyo with 6 hits and 37 at bats has driven in a couple. Bronson with 5 major league homers, 26 runs batted in his career. That's in tight, ball 1 to him. The Reds finding themselves 2 games under 500, are 6.5 games out, in 4th place behind Milwaukee. They just finished a July in which they were 11-15. It's 1-1. They'll be going to Chicago after this 3-game series.
And they feel like this is their time to make a move. They have a bunch of games coming up against teams below 500.
Royal bunts, fielded by Quintero, who throws him out. And it's no runs a hit, 2 men stranded, no score after 1.5. Card. Carlos Lee comes up to lead it off in the home 2nd inning. He has 2,076 career hits. The other 8 Astros starters combined have 1,006.
Well, it's going to be kind of fun to watch this team play for the rest of the year and watch these young kids and see how things go for them. It's kind of been the theme all year long, but we've replaced some young guys with some younger ones now as CJ and Brett Wallace head down to AAA to try to sort things out.
He takes ball 1 from Arroyo, a 272 hitter. Carlos has 10 homers, 60 runs batted in. He was 0 for 12 in that Milwaukee series.
Very good numbers in his career against Arroyo. 340 batting average, 3 home runs. With a lot of looks at him.
Upstairs for ball 2.
47 at bats for Carlos, 16 out of 47 against this cagey right-hander.
Bouncer third, slowly hit, and it's foul. 2-2. Yeah, he can be very cagey. He can tie hitters in knots. Variety of speeds and arm angles.
When he's getting hit around, he's got salad. He's got nothing. When he's good, he is crafty.
Ooh, Ryan Hannigan held it there. It's ball 3. Full count.
Yeah, Darrell Cousins. Well, I'll leave it at that.
Darrell Cousins.
He's you never know what you're going to get.
Well, you get ball 4 there. Nobody's contesting that one. Lee gets the walk, the second of the game. They've both been leading off innings. Wallace and Johnson headed for Oklahoma City last night with those numbers.
A struggle for both of those guys. CJ, up and down all year. Wallace got off to a nice start, but he's been in a free fall of late, and it's just tough for young players sometimes to make the adjustments here at the big league level that need to be made to find success. And it's that whole battle right between success and confidence and which comes first. But clearly those guys scuffling. If they can go down there and get on a roll and get some confidence, maybe they can come back and then have some success here at the big leagues.
J.D. Martinez gets an opportunity. Here's ball 1. He got his first major league hit, a pinch RBI double in Milwaukee, and got his first major league start yesterday. He is 1 for 4 as a major leaguer. Yesterday he was 0 for 3 with a walk. Now his first start at Minute Maid Park. It's 1-1 to J.D. Martinez from Florida, who was the Astros minor league player of the year last year. Has had tremendous numbers throughout the minor league portion of his career. 20th round draft choice in 2009. 23 years old, from Miami. He went to Nova Southeastern University. He's hitting .338 at Corpus Christi this year.
Well, if he hits .338 in the big leagues over any length of time, he's going to be one fine ball player. Check out those numbers. My goodness. Not a big home run hitter, but certainly a high average guy who hits line drives. Good gap power. If he does that at the big leagues, he's going to have kids. He's going to have kids doing that little preset routine he does. You notice he does that little kisses his hand and points with the finger.
Gotta watch that.
Yeah. Gotta love a guy named JD, don't you?
Yeah. He's maintaining the image of JD's.
Yeah. He's averaged about 325 points higher than mine. Right here, boom, kiss, and then the finger, the point.
Okay.
Little leaguers all over Houston will be doing that before long.
He reaches for it, hits it into shallow right center field. A pop fly that falls for a hit. And here's a throw to third on the big guy. Carlos runs into a tag for out number 1. He tried to get frisky and go first to third on the pop fly single, and he was gunned down. Martinez gets a hit.
Probably too early in the half to use a timeout, but he certainly could have used one there. And about when he got to the shortstop position, I'm sure he was rethinking that. I didn't see, was he going with the pitch?
Don't believe so.
Because otherwise he was really lucky anyway to read that ball, to know it was going to get down.
Yeah. 8-5 play as Drew Stubbs throws him out. Stubbs has a very good arm. Clint Barmas the batter.
Maybe they don't see me. Maybe they don't see me. I'm just going to keep going.
251 for Barmas.
Try to get real small.
21 runs batted in for Clint. He is 2 for 9 in his career against Arroyo. Giannis and Phillips set up a double play depth with 1 out. It's a 2-ball, no strike count. J.D. Martinez has not been a base stealer. Stolen a few, but nobody who would attract a whole lot of attention on the bases. Jimmy Paredes on deck, preparing for his first major league plate appearance. It's a shot to left. Alonso coming in. It's a hit in front of him. He's a converted first baseman who really got caught in between on that one, and it's a single for Barmas. Runners at first and second with 1 out.
Walk and 2 knocks, but Arroyo with a bit of misfortune here. The little blooper that Martinez hits, and now this one, Barmas hits off the end of the bat. A little soft line drive, and Alonso clearly not very comfortable out there in left field. Got a very bad break.
Jimmy Paredes, switch hitting infielder from the Dominican Republic. Signed as a non-drafted free agent by the Yankees in 06. Traded in the Lance Berkman deal last year to Houston. 270. 10 homers for Corpus Christi.
Just a kid. And an intriguing set of tools, speed, and you can tell by those numbers he's got some pop in that bat too.
Last year he divided the season. He had about half a year at Lexington after being traded by the Yankees in the Berkman deal along with Mark Melancon. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Ed Wade acknowledged this might be a bit of a rush to bring him up to the big leagues now.
There's that Laredo sidearm delivery, then throws a little frisbee slider, catches Paredes way out in front. Well, if you were ever going to rush guys to the big leagues, this would be the year. A bunch of kids here to begin with. It's become a situation where it's more about development right now than winning right now. So a chance for some of these guys to settle in and get a chance to experience what it's like to compete at this level.
2-1 to Paredes, who's played second and third base at Corpus Christi this season. That one's in the air, foul. Cairo over and won't get there. 2-2. Fans of the Corpus Christi Hooks have gotten a good preview of Astros this year.
All the guys at AAA are like, hey, what about us?
There's been a bypass. Straight from Corpus to the big leagues for several players. Alberto Quintero on deck. That's hit well to right center field. Paredes puts a charge into it. Deep right center. That'll bounce and go to the wall. That'll drive in 2. He's on his way to third base. 2-run triple for Jimmy Paredes in his major league debut at bat.
How about that? What a moment for that kid. Nothing soft about that hit. He drives one to the alley in right center. And then he can really fly. All the way to the Astros bullpen she goes. That's kind of fun.
Absolutely. Very exciting play. Running effortlessly. He gets to third easily. What a nice moment for a 22-year-old youngster. Now the infielders come in. Humberto Quintero, the batters. It's 2-0 Houston. Quintero gets one out to right center field. Paredes back to tag, waiting. Drew Stubbs off his clock, and it's rolling on a warning track. It's 3-0. Quintero will stop at second with an RBI double. Stubbs unable to hold it after a long run. Quintero gets his 15th run batted in on double number 8, and it's 3-0.
A nice fluid swing by Q, and he too drives the ball to right center, right off the end of the glove for Stubbs, and then Takes a while to gather that ball up. Q, you tell he was thinking about stretching it out for three, but he saw that stop sign from Dave Clark and slammed on the brakes, and that was probably the right decision.
Back-to-back extra base RBI hits, and Bud Norris bats. 3-0, and Norris has driven in 4 himself, trying to help that. Fouls it back, strike one. 4 consecutive hits after the leadoff walk by Lee, so the only out has come when Carlos was thrown out trying to go first to third on the pop fly single by Martinez.
Yeah, for that brief moment when he thought he was draped with the cloak of invisibility, apparently it fell off.
Must have thought he was a stealth player or something. Bunted, and Bud might be able. No, Arroyo's over to toss it to Joey Votto. And it's out number 2. Rule of sacrifice.
It can't be a sacrifice.
Well, that may be revisited. That's what they're ruling it for now.
Yeah, they'll amend that.
Okay. And it's Luis Durango. Durango walked to lead off the game for the Astros and then was erased on the force play at second. Bronson Arroyo has won 7 straight against Houston with a 1.74 ERA in those 7 games, including 2 complete games. Going strike one to Durango. Well, Arroyo is facing the Astros for the first time this season, as is Norris Cincinnati. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Last year, Bronson won all 3 of his starts against the Astros. In 09, he won all 3. The last time he lost was in 08 at Cincinnati. Brian Moeller and the Astros beat him in August of that year. Dribbled and diving. Arroyo gets up and throws him out. So in the second inning, the Astros pick up 3 runs. What a moment for Jimmy Paredes of the Dominican Republic. 2-run triple in his first major league at bat. 3-0 Houston.
Astros.com. Brownie, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. Milwaukee in town this weekend. Right now it's St. Louis 2, Milwaukee nothing. They've played 1.5 in Milwaukee. And at Miller Park, the Brewers have the best home record in the National League. Ah, the colorful folks are out tonight.
Carpenter and Greinke.
Yeah. Matt Holliday hit his 15th homer in the first off Greinke. Drew Stubbs gets in the box to start the 3rd inning. He opened the game with a line drive single on the first pitch from Bud Norris. Norris moves him off the plate. In Bud's 21 starts, the Astros have won 10 and lost 11. It's 1-1. Brad Mills said he would have a little meeting before the game with the new players, more of a procedural thing than any type of schooling or anything like that.
You should have had name tags available in the clubhouse. Hello, my name is.
Well, if they hit like Paredes and Durango through that walk, they're going to be welcomed in a hurry. According to Phil Boudreau, in 49 years of Houston baseball, this is the 50th. Paredes is the first player to get a triple in his first at bat in the majors. Ground ball into left field. Stubbs is 2 for 2.
Bud with a little cushion to work with, but this is a very potent Reds lineup. They hit a lot of home runs, so they can come back on you.
They do have plenty of firepower. Miguel Cairo put down a sacrifice in the first inning. That did not work out. Stubbs was sacrificed to second, but he was stranded at third base. And Norris got 2 more groundouts. And he's high with that one for ball 1. Furious weekend of trading activity. Now things settling down, but that does not mean there will not be more deals. Players routinely are being placed on waivers now after the July 31st date, and there might be more trades ensuing. Pretty close play at first. So the way the waiver process works, we could never begin to explain it, but just in general terms, the worst teams get the first choice of a player put on waivers, and then it goes up the ladder with the best teams getting last choice.
In both leagues.
Yeah. So, if you want player A, you put him through waivers, he could be claimed by another team, and then you could pull him back and he'd be frozen on your roster, or you could work out a deal with the team that claimed him or players, or you could just say to that team that they could have him on waivers.
You got him. Yeah.
They got his contract.
And then, so there is some risk. A lot of times we talk about teams will claim a guy just to block a trade to another team, but there is some risk in doing that because you might claim a guy that you really don't really want, but you may end up being saddled with his contract. That doesn't happen very often.
Runner going, the throw, not in time. Stolen base for Stubbs. His 27th.
An easy combo to run on with Norris and that quick pickoff move and awfully quick to home plate, and Q with a good strong arm, but he didn't get a good grip on that ball. And the throw was a little bit offline and up.
Pitch was a strike. It's 1-1. Yeah, so you have to be careful about claiming those guys because you may wind up with a big contract on your hands. And then if a player passes all the way through waivers without being claimed, trades can be arranged after that. 2 balls and a strike. And usually there are some of those in the month of August. Carlos Lee backing up a little bit at first. Ground ball third, backhanded. Paredes looks the runner back. Goes over to Lee. 1 out.
Paredes' reputation as an offensive player is better than his reputation with the glove, but we'll just watch him play and see how things go.
Joey Votto grounded out to Carlos Lee with Bud Norris covering in the first inning. Inside to Votto, there's ball 1. Not a bad thought to push him off the plate a little bit because he can really hit that pitch away hard. And 435 with runners in scoring position for Votto.
Thought Bud was going to double up with a fastball in, and he came back with the slider. Out in front and over the top.
Altuve's out in right field. Hit to left field. And a long run there for Martinez. It bangs off the base of the wall, kicks out towards center field. A run in, and it's 3-1 on an opposite field double for Votto. His 69th run batted in. 24th double for Votto.
Bud took a couple shots inside, first with the fastball, then the slider, then a two-seamer running away from Votto. And he does what we've seen him do so many times, hit the ball hard the other way.
Votto at second for Brandon Phillips with one out. Phillips grounded out. Altuve to Norris covering in the first. Washington leads at home against Atlanta 5-1, bottom of the sixth inning. Strike to Phillips. Dan Uggla hit his 21st home run for the Braves, and Rick Ankiel has hit a couple to give him 5 for the Nationals.
Uggla hitting a buck something all year. Now he's got, what, a 24-game hitting streak?
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
It's happening all at the same time for him. No balls, 2 strikes. Phillips just waved at that slider. Jair Jurgen starting for Atlanta, giving up 5 runs in 5 innings. Livan Hernandez pitching well for Washington. And he has really struggled in his career against Atlanta. Phillips won't climb the ladder. It's 1-2 with Jay Bruce on deck.
Decision time now for Norris and Quintero. He took bad swings at those 2 sliders, so they're probably feeling that's a pitch they could ultimately go back to, whether they go to it here on 1-2 or take one more shot when the fastball way up or in on the hands a little bit. Could be one way to go. And decided to go right back with the slider, and just a half swing from Phillips. He's obviously not seeing that slider very well from Bud.
Livan Hernandez is 7-18 lifetime against the Braves. That's the worst record of any active pitcher against any team with a minimum of 20 decisions.
There can't be that many pitchers in the game with 20 decisions against one club.
True. Turn towards second, and the runner diving back. Votto. Each club has 4 hits. This is the first of a 3-game series, all at 7:05. Tomorrow night it's Wandy Rodriguez and Homer Bailey. Wednesday night, Jordan Lyles and Dontrell Willis. Out over second base into center field. Votto around third. Mark Berry sending him to the plate, and the throw's cut off. It's 3-2 on the RBI single by Phillips. The Reds come back here in the 3rd inning, and they get Jay Bruce to the plate.
A nice job there by Phillips, because Bud did come back with the slider. This time it stayed in the strike zone, though. He was getting to swing at those balls breaking out of the zone. Not a terrible pitch, but it stayed on the plate. And Phillips able to reach out and poke it into center field.
Phillips aboard. Bruce, who doubled to center field, comes around again. That's in tight, and it's ball 1 to Bruce. Alonso's on deck.
He's not having a very good year in the stolen base department. He's swiped 7 bags, but he's been caught 7 times.
Dusty Baker's Reds are 4th in long balls in the National League. And in for ball 2. It's been a struggle for Dusty's club this year after the Reds won the division by 5 games last season, going 91-71. Last year the Reds were 10-5 against the Astros. Bruce looks at it. It's a strike. 2-1.
Good changeup. I think soft is a good way to go with Bruce. Looks like he's geared for the fastball.
Time call. Billy Hatcher, the first base coach, looking down at his base runner Phillips, is very slow to get up. Right shoulder or elbow. Okay, landed on the ball. Yeah. Ball got him in the arm.
He's out in my neighborhood.
An animated player. Swing and a miss there. Takes the count to 2-2. Jay Bruce, another player who was born in Beaumont, and Houston-born Adam Dunn, the only 3 Reds with 60 homers their first 3 full seasons with the Reds. Frank Robinson was born in Beaumont. He's the other guy. Hmm. 3-2.
Just sliding off that outside corner.
Bruce has struck out 99 times. Norris looking over his shoulder at Phillips. Now Quintero's animated with a home plate umpire.
He and Bruce are having a chat.
Okay.
I think Q had said something to Cousins about the pitch, and Bruce probably said, "Hey, that ball's outside." And Q said, "Wait a minute, this is between me and the umpire."
He didn't observe baseball etiquette apparently. Or maybe that's
well, they're just lobbying. It's like lobbying the judge, the 2 attorneys. It's a good pitch, Darryl. And Jay's like, "No, Darryl, it's good. You got it right."
Runner going, and he swings and misses. The throw, and the tag by Barmas gets him for a double play. And Phillips gives the safe sign, but Angel Campos called him out. So it's 2 runs, 3 hits, nobody left. Double play to end it from 2-6. The Astros lead 3-2.
By AT&T, rethink possible. By Toshiba, bringing common sense innovation to the laptop. And by Brake Check, we do it right, and we do it for less. Now to Bill Brown and Jim Bechet, the Astros lead by a digit.
Thank you, Greg. Altuve, Bourgeois, and Lee due up for the Astros in the 3rd inning. As the Altuve bounced into a force play in the 1st inning. He has just been phenomenal this season in the minor leagues with his high batting average. It'll be interesting to watch his major league season evolve for him now. 389 was his minor league combined average between Lancaster and Corpus Christi. He takes ball one up. He's been very aggressive, but that was out of his zone. He's not drawn a walk yet this year. Arroyo sinks it and gets a strike call. It's 1-1.
He is so little. It could be a little bit perplexing for a pitcher when you stare in there and you see a guy that small. It's a small zone. He doesn't have a small swing. He lets that bat fly, and he's got a little pop.
Popped up. Phillips out into shallow right field. One out for Arroyo, who was drafted in '95 by the Pirates in the 3rd round. He's from Key West, Florida. He was an all-star in '06, going 14 and 11. His first year with Cincinnati.
Named after Charles Bronson.
Jason Bourgeois bounced into a double play in the 1st inning. Jason said he told Brett Myers that he was going to go deep in yesterday's game. He did exactly that.
The called shot. Babe Bourgeois.
Yeah.
But then Myers said he says it every game. So.
Well, then eventually it was going to happen, and it certainly did. He hit that ball very well in Milwaukee. He rips this one on the ground. Cairo comes up with it. Takes care of out number 2. By the way, Jason Bourgeois is going to fill in out at the Academy along with Jimmy Wynn in that Born to Win program that was scheduled for this week. He'll be there the next 2 days at 10:30 in the morning. That's nice of him to give up some of his time to work with youngsters on leadership. Carlos Lee drew the walk in the 2nd inning. Carlo has a fellow Panamanian, Durango, in the lineup with him tonight. There's ball 1.
El Caballo and the Durango Kid.
Yeah.
Coming to theaters this August.
Jay Bruce in right field for out number 3. And after 3, it's 3-2 Houston. Fourth inning will be rolling around for Bud Norris in a moment with Alonso, Hannigan, and Giannis due to bat for the Reds. Reds got 2 in the third inning after the Astros scored 3 in the second. 2 on a triple by Jimmy Paredes in his first major league plate appearance. Alonso hit the ball to center field and it was caught by Durango. There's ball 1. Alonso made his major league debut last season with Cincinnati. He had 29 at bats. 24 years old, from Havana, Cuba. He went to the University of Miami. First round pick in 08. Rolls over on that one. Carlos Lee with the toss. 1 out. We go to Bart.
Thanks, Bill. Want to remind fans that the Milwaukee Brewers in town this weekend. Hey, bring the whole family out to Minute Maid Park Sunday, August 7th. The Astros take on the Brewers. The first 10,000 kids 14 and under to the 105 game will receive a Cuddle Pup, courtesy of Kellogg's. Get your tickets at Astros.com. You guys have Cuddle Pups, right?
Absolutely. Got a whole pack of them.
I got a dog.
Call your dog a Cuddle Pup?
Call him Tim.
Tim. Nice. Ryan Hannigan struck out in the second inning. Ball 1. Giannis on deck. It's Cleveland 5, Boston 5. They're in the bottom of the 6th at Fenway. Josh Tomlin and John Lackey, the starters. Tribe stirring up interest this year. Making the big Ubaldo Jimenez trade. 2 balls, no strikes. Cleveland is 2.5 behind Detroit in the AL Central.
It's interesting. Everybody wants to grade the trades on the trade deadline, and it makes for good TV and good conversation. But in reality, you never really know until a couple of years down the road.
No. Well, in the Astros case, they really can't be graded because they traded for so many, a total of 10 young players. 3 balls and a strike. So it's going to take years to fully evaluate the take in those 3 trades. Now people can look at where the prospects they traded for were rated, and that's primarily what they're doing. That's the second walk for Norris. .53 pitches.
Reds getting some pretty good swings at Bud here through the first 3 innings of this game. He was able to work his way through the first couple before getting touched up for a pair in the third.
Now it's Paul Giannis. Foul ball for Giannis. There's strike 1. Zach Cozart, you mentioned him earlier, had taken over at shortstop. Giannis had been sent to AAA Louisville, but and Cozart got hurt, so Giannis came back. Edgar Renteria fills in from time to time at short. Giannis takes it. It's a strike, and he's behind 0-2 in the count. The Astros recalled outfielder Brian Bogasevic today, as well as Luis Durango, Jimmy Paredes. So a lot of changes the last few days for Brad Mills' club. 1-2. Ed Wade said on Astros Live tonight with Kevin Eschenfelder and Steve Sparks, Chris Johnson and Brett Wallace are still important parts of the plan for the future. And the Astros hope to get them back in September, hitting well. 2-2. Brad Mills said that he had actually typed up instructions for the AAA Oklahoma City manager, Tony DeFrancesco, to pass along to those players. But they did, of course, hear those instructions personally from Brad last night. So there are some specific things for them to work on. And Brad felt that there are certain words that are being used by the coaching staff, certain, kind of code words, if you will, or trigger mechanisms that are specific to their situations, and he wanted those to be passed along to Tony at AAA. That's high to left field. Martinez running back and at the wall, now backing off, and that one is going to kick back on the field of play and be a double. Looked like it might get out, but it's a double for Giannis. Runners at second and third and one out now.
Hey, hit down off the scoreboard. It must have hit one of those little borders along the scoreboard where they popped those numbers in, because that took a real funky bounce. Right there at the bottom of the United sign, then straight up into the air.
Yep.
And good work by the fan there. You see him pull his hands back to leave it alone.
Right. Very good work.
Mr. Baker wants clarification.
Well, remember years ago, JD, Damian Jackson, when he was with San Diego, hit a ball that landed further down than that one. It popped up off one of those little ledges, went in the seats for a grand slam.
Yeah, had some funky topspin or something on it.
Dusty has been told by Jim Wolf about that ruling, and it's Bronson Arroyo batting with the infielders moving in now with one out, runners at second and third. Arroyo bunted, and he was thrown out by Quintero back in the second inning. This time swinging away and fouling at strike one.
It's so important in this situation to get the jump on the hitter, because if you fall into a hitter's count, it's become a little bit more susceptible to a squeeze play. But Dusty Baker, he has to consider the possibility of a pitch out.
That's there for strike two. Jason Stoffel got his third save for Corpus Christi yesterday in an 8-7 win over Midland. He's one of the players obtained in the Keppinger deal from the Giants. It's 1-2. Josh Zeid made his debut in that Corpus Christi game as well. He came in the trade with Atlanta.
No, he was part of the Philly deal.
Oh, the Philly deal. That's right. I was wondering how he could have gotten there so fast. That makes more sense. Little tap. Bud Norris hits the runner back, throws him out. Two down. A lot of players flying around. And there's a lot. You know, Stoffel and Henry Sosa came from the Giants, and Ed Wade said on Astros Live tonight, Sosa's had two outstanding starts at Corpus Christi. He said you could be seeing him soon at AAA Oklahoma City. Jared Cosart has been assigned to AA Corpus Christi. He was involved in that Philly deal along with first baseman Jonathan Singleton, who's at Lancaster.
Those two considered maybe the best prospects in the Philly organization. Cosart, a local kid. He's got a big arm, throws real hard. Not a real big guy. Kind of like Oswalt in stature, from what I've been told. But, upper 90s fastball at times. Big confrontation here for Bud. Stubbs has got two knocks off of him already. And tying and going ahead runners in scoring position out there.
Strike makes it 0-2 to Stubbs. Stubbs hit the first pitch for his single in the first inning, and then on a 2-1 count he got a hit again in the third. Now down 0-2, and he has struck out 138 times to lead all National League hitters.
Should be a slider away.
1-2 with Cairo on deck. Yankees 3, White Sox nothing. Bottom of the fourth in Chicago. In the air, and Carlos Lee looks over to Altuve, who's there for the catch. No runs, one hit, two men left in scoring position, and the Astros maintain their 3-2 lead in the fourth.
A challenge. This one involves the Cincinnati Reds. In 1957, they stuffed the ballot boxes.
Cheaters.
Who were named by the commissioner? There was only one non-red elected to start. I want to know that name. And also, who were named by the commissioner to replace two of the elected Reds? Three names I'm looking for.
Wow. Willie Mays.
And that is, what is he? Is he the one that was elected, or is
I
he
don't
one?
know. It's just one of the three you're looking for.
I want them in what they are.
Wow. He was elected.
Who was elected? You're going to say he's elected?
He was elected.
You're wrong.
No, he was selected by the commissioner.
That you're right.
J.D. Martinez fouls it. There's strike one. That's
He
a tough question.
replaced Gus Bell, who had been elected.
Okay. Stan Musial.
What was he?
He was named by the commissioner.
No. Go ahead.
He was elected.
He was elected.
He's the one who was elected.
Little roller by J.D. Martinez. Cairo comes over, throws to first, and gets him.
Well, how about Henry Aaron then?
And that's that. And there's only one left, as he was selected. And he was selected to replace Wally Post.
Wow.
The Reds who did start included Don Hoke at third, Roy McMillan at short, Johnny Temple at second, Ed Bailey catching, and Frank Robinson in the outfield.
I wonder how many were truly deserving.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Hoke at third. McMillan and Temple were really good. But they changed the voting after that year. Took it away from the fans for a while.
Varmus singled in the second inning and came around to score. We might be getting an announcement about that sacrifice. We'll hear more on that. Getting an announcement on something anyway. Boots can tell us.
Oh, yeah, talking about Paredes with his triple.
Yeah. First Astro to get a triple in his first major league at bat.
Boots was all over that as soon as it happened.
Yeah. Now also J.D. Martinez had the hit in his first major league plate appearance over the weekend. First since Jason Castro last year. Liner to left field. In for a hit for Barmas. Barmas is 2 for 2.
There's one for Boots, actually. What year did the Astros have the most players getting their first major league hits?
Well,
I'll answer this trivia first, though.
All
We'll
right.
make it official. AT&T question. The only players involved here. Musial was elected. Aaron and Willie Mays were added.
I'm going to say 63, Greg.
That's a pretty good idea because they had a lot of rookies playing that year.
Yeah.
Is that the year they featured the all-rookie lineup
Yes,
in
it is.
September?
Sure is. Jimmy Paredes cracked a 2-run triple. Now rolls over on that one. Phillips going to second for the force play. And it goes from 4 to 6 on Barmas. Paredes at first for Quintero.
Well, congratulations to Paul Goldschmidt of the Woodlands High School. He's just been called up by the Arizona Diamondbacks. 23-year-old Paul Goldschmidt. He was hitting .306 with a minor league leading 30 home runs for their AA club at Mobile. 94 driven in, and he's in the lineup for the D-backs tonight.
Big numbers.
Yeah. From the Woodlands, where all the children are above average.
Quintero with the RBI double in the second inning made it 3-0. Goldschmidt get a chance to play with a contending club after posting those huge numbers, and Arizona just traded first baseman Brandon Allen for the pitcher Brad Ziegler over the weekend with Oakland.
Another Houston guy. Brandon Allen.
Yeah. Jason Marquis also came in a trade to Arizona. There's strike one. He'll get his first start as a D-back against the Giants later this week, and he's done very well against San Francisco in his career. Tonight the Cubs are leading at Pittsburgh 4-1, bottom of the seventh inning. Derek Lee has just joined the Pirates tonight, and he has homered against his former mates, the Cubs. To Hopper, Yanish shoveling to Phillips for the force on Paredes. And it's no runs a hit with a man stranded after 4. The Astros lead the Reds 3-2.
Astros up 3-2. Hey, if you'd like a chance to take batting practice on the field here at Minute Maid Park and raise some money for a great cause, I got a way you can do both. The Astros in Action Foundation, as well as Astros broadcaster Dave Raymond, have been working with a group called Candle Lighters, and I'm joined by Jay Beasley and some other gentlemen to talk a little bit about who you guys are and what you've got going on here. Jay, take it away.
Right, thanks, Bart. Hey, the Candle Lighters are an organization that's been around 20 years. It provides emotional, educational, and practical support to children and their families with cancer. And it's a very special organization, near and dear to Dave Raymond and actually Bud Norris, who's our Astro. But what we want to talk about is the event is called the Strikeout Kids Cancer Baseball Tournament on August 27th and 28th. And participants in that tournament can raise money to get batting practice at Minute Maid at the end of the season before an Astros baseball game with Phil Garner coaching them. It's a fantastic opportunity, and It's Junk is our title sponsor. Randall Swearingen and Jason Manlove right here they're professional junk removers. They're our title sponsor. Mark Klein down there at the end of Nations Baseball has helped us network and get a bunch of teams out to the event. So it's going to be a great time, a great opportunity for kids to come out and help kids that can't play themselves.
And one way that you can help raise funds for this, kind of a social networking aspect to it, if people go to the website, which you saw on the screen there, strikeoutkidscancer.org. You register there, and then you can start soliciting sponsorships from people that you send out mass emails. That's kind of a neat twist to this, sort of a social networking aspect to this, isn't it?
Yeah, we think it really is a unique twist to helping an organization, not just by participating in the tournament itself, but having an opportunity to raise money online, send it to friends and family who may not be in Houston. You can send it to anybody anywhere, and they can help you. And the fundraising will continue even after the event, a few weeks, so kids can really get that chance to take batting practice here at Minute Maid. A very special opportunity, once-in-a-lifetime chance.
Well, that's great, Jay. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for all the work you do at Candle Lighters. Gentlemen, nice job. Thank you for being with us. If you'd like to take some BP out here, that's what you need to do. Go to the website, www.strikeoutkidscancer.org. Register, start lining up some sponsors. Brownie, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. After that single by Miguel Cairo in this 3-2 game, it's Joey Votto batting. He drove in a run with a double in the third and then scored. He's 1 for 2. This one goes into right field. Cairo to second base on a single by Votto. And now it's Phillips coming out with 2 on and nobody out.
Oh, what a hitter, man. It hits the fastball the other way. This time Bud tries to fool him with a changeup, and he stays back and then just yanks it into right field.
Votto began the night with a .319 batting average. Now conference with Quintero and Norris talking it over. Phillips the batter. He's 1 for 2, an RBI single to center in the third.
Has not had many starts this year where he's been hit around like this. He's had some rough starts, but typically it's maybe a walk in front of a home run or something like that. But typically he keeps the hits down. But 8 so far for the Reds as they bat here in the 5th with nobody out.
Coming into this game, the batting average against Bud was .241. And at home in 76 innings, he allowed 61 hits.
Just a ground ball away from cleaning it up. A little double play and back on track. It is the kind of lineup, though, that puts a lot of pressure on you because there are so many dangerous hitters. It takes away your aggressiveness a little bit.
He chases the slider, and Phillips is not seeing that pitch well tonight. It's no balls, 2 strikes.
The base hit last time came on a slider that was in the zone after waving at a couple just like this one. So I would think if I'm Q and Bud, I'm thinking anything but a breaking ball in the strike zone for the rest of this at bat. Take a couple shots with the heater if you want, but keep the slider out of the strike zone.
Out into center field for a single. Mark Berry putting up a stop sign now. The bases are loaded. Cairo started to come around third and did, but then as Berry got a chance to get a look at Durango fielding the ball, he threw up both hands. So it's bases loaded, nobody out, and Phillips is 2 for 3.
I think that was strictly a situational stop by Berry down there with Jay Bruce coming up and nobody out, because it looked like Cairo would have been able to score on this ball He's rounding third as Durango picks it up. The throw was offline, didn't have a lot on it, but with nobody out, why not? Why take a chance?
Bases loaded for Bruce. Bruce doubled to center in the second inning. He struck out in the third. Cairo, Votto, and Phillips hoping that Bruce can deliver. 9 hits for the Reds.
One shy of the career high allowed by Bud in a start. He was allowed 10 a couple of times.
The Reds are averaging a shade over 4 runs per game, but against clubs under 500, they're averaging 5.4. Foul ball makes it 1-1.
A little warm in here tonight. It's typically the case when we get back from a long road trip, first day back. Beats the heck out of that road trip, though. Those games in Chicago and St. Louis, my goodness.
You want to talk about warm? We were a gamey bunch as we traveled throughout the Midwest. It's 2-1. Astros will be home for a week through Sunday. Milwaukee on the weekend, and then off to Phoenix and Los Angeles on the next trip.
About a little tapper back to the mound.
Perfect. 2-2.
Got a punch out, then a double play.
That works.
It's a bad slider, but he got away with it.
Cairo's the runner there at third, and then behind him, Votto.
Bruce better down than up. He can drop the head on that low fastball.
Fouls that one. He's almost in the danger zone for him. Jay's walked 46 times this season. He's fanned exactly 100 times as of this game. Last year, the Reds won their first division title since '95. Good young emerging club. Ground ball second. Altuve tossing, and then Barmas turns it into a 4-6-3 double play with the tying run scoring. The Astros with the last at bat in the game make that exchange, and Cairo scores to make it 3-3 now.
Yeah, bases loaded, nobody out with a real slugger in the box. You'll take this trade every time. 2 outs for 1 run. Got in that kitchen, induced that weak ground ball.
Yonder Alonso hit a fly ball deep to center, and then he grounded out. There's ball 1. He took over for Johnny Gomes in left field. Gomes was traded.
You got to keep the concentration level high here. Tendency when you're in a big pickle like that, when you get that double play, to kind of exhale and go, okay, I'm out of trouble. Well, you're not out of trouble altogether. Still a man on third base and pretty good hitter in the box.
Two 2-0 to Alonso. Seventh overall pick in the draft. Signed a 5-year deal for $4.5 million.
One of those guys that everybody says this dude can rake. Just flat out hit. Put a bat in his hands and he can do damage.
Well, and in this ballpark, that's a good place to play a converted first baseman in left field. With less territory to cover.
So he's either going to have to figure out the outfield, or the Reds will probably find another home for him with another organization, because Votto's not going anywhere. Imagine there are a lot of clubs that talk to the Reds about yonder trade deadline.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
So when you talk about him in the scouting report, are you going over yonder?
You're going over yonder. Exactly so. They have a young catcher, Devin Mesoraco, and another one, Yasmani Grandal, and they are highly sought by other teams. Reds didn't want to part with them. Walt Jocketty said he didn't want to give up too much, so they did not make a deal here recently. They made the one deal involving Gomes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and that one goes to 3-2 now. So a big pitch coming here with Hannigan on deck.
Right, so you don't have to give in here. You got a right-handed hitter coming up next.
And that's foul.
And that's where that's where the concentration has to be strong, and you have to know your game plan. And what happens is he's had to work awfully hard today. He's at 87 pitches in the 5th inning, so he's been kind of under duress all night long. So you get to 3-2 with 2 outs, and you're thinking, I just want to get this over with. I don't want to start fresh with a new hitter. But you have to fight that temptation to throw one over the fat part of the plate. And you still got to try to make a pitcher's pitch here.
Paredes watches it drift back into the seats. .88 pitches for Norris. 53 have been strikes. Last time out in St. Louis, Bud threw 94 pitches through 6 innings. Ball 4. Now runners at first and third, and it's Hannigan batting. 3rd walk for Norris. Doug Brocail's
it's interesting.
out.
Alonso flipping the bat and walking to first base immediately, and Bud starting to walk off like he had strike 3. Backdoor breaking ball looked like it stayed off the plate, but Bud was hoping to get a call there from Darryl Cousins.
Three singles and a walk in the inning for the Reds. They've tied it, and Norris has allowed 9 hits, 3 runs in 4 2/3. Now it's Hannigan who has struck out and walked. Last year, that was the first Reds team in a decade to have a winning record. There is strike 1. And the Astros, as you can look around baseball and see teams like the Reds, the Pirates this year, Cleveland, trying to follow that same type pattern themselves and accumulate the young homegrown talent and build toward a winner. In the dirt, and it's 1-1. Bud Norris, a part of the farm system. The Astros really went for pitchers in these trades over the weekend. Bud's 26. He was a 6th round pick in 06.
Yeah, it becomes a percentage play, doesn't it? You try to get as many good arms in your system as possible, and just by attrition, some are going to fall by the wayside. Some guys that just may have good stuff but don't figure out how to pitch, how to, their command doesn't measure up, or injury. So if you have a whole bunch of guys, the odds are some of them are going to filter their way to the top.
Foul back, 1-2. Ed Wade was talking on Astros Live about Juan Abreu. He's a hard-throwing reliever the Astros got in the Michael Bourne trade, and he'll be going to Oklahoma City. Reaches in the upper 90s. Probably will be with the major league club before too much longer. Let's get strikeout numbers in the minors. Foul back again. Still 1-2.
A little bit of a hanging breaking ball there, but he got away with it.
Reds have never really put together that good a month. 2 games over 500, their best for any calendar month so far this year. They just have not gone off on a solid run, and they're 2 games under right now. And they find themselves in 4th place, 6.5 back. back by Hannigan again, and it's 1-2 as the battle continues with Norris and the Reds catcher.
Throw Manifus.
Well, that was a slow curveball that Randy Wolf threw.
Yeah, we got him at 57 miles an hour. The Wolfman the other night in Milwaukee flipped a curveball up there to Michael Bourne. Kind of wondering if Bronson Arroyo would go for that record tonight, because he can throw,
yeah, he could get there.
Flip it up there pretty good too.
Now 2-2. Just reading a story yesterday about Wolf. He said it's kind of a contest. Zach Greinke and one of the other guys, and Wolf trying to throw as slow a curveball as they possibly can in a game.
Hannigan having a tough AB here.
He is 3-2, laid off the change up there. Now with 2 outs, the runner at first, Alonso, will be ready to move.
He's throwing in the Astros bullpen. It'll be tough for Bud to stretch it out here tonight as he nears 100 pitches.
He's due to lead off the bottom of this inning. Popped up. Farmas out into shallow center with the catch to end it. In the 5th inning, it's 1 run, 3 hits. 2 men stranded for the Reds. They tie at 3-3. The on-deck circle to lead off. He got the big out on Hannigan with runners at first and third to end the top of the 5th after the Reds tied it. Now he'll try to get something going as the Astros try to regain the lead, with Durango and Altuve to follow in the Astros 5th. An encouraging 2nd inning for the Astros, scoring 3 times on 4 hits after being held to a 158 batting average over the weekend in Milwaukee, with 3 extra base hits total in that 3-game series. Tonight, a 2-run triple from Jimmy Paredes, an RBI double from Quintero. Norris put down a sac bunt in the 2nd inning.
The one thing about Bronson Arroyo, there's no panic in this guy. You know, we've seen a number of starts of his where he's getting lit up early, give up maybe 4 runs in the 1st inning, and then he'll pitch shutout baseball into the 7th. He just doesn't cave in.
It's 1-1. Very poised veteran. He's allowed 44 runs on homers alone this year. He's given up those 30 long balls JD talked about, tops in the National League. Moves that one into the top of the zone. That makes it 1-2 for Bronson Arroyo. He was a 17-game winner last year. Lost 10 with a 3.88 ERA. So far from those numbers this time around for Bronson. Strike 3 call on the fastball. Strikeout number 1 for Arroyo. Luis Durango's next. Walked in the first, then grounded back to the pitcher in the second inning. Altuve's on deck. Durango frequently tries to bunt. Corner infielders have been advised. Puts this one down, and Arroyo comes over to barehanded and get 2 outs.
You got to get that ball by the pitcher to have a chance. Arroyo, very good fielding pitcher.
Gold Glove winner last year. Handled that one without any panic. Altuve is 0 for 2 tonight. Altuve is from Maracay, Venezuela. He signed in 06 with the Astros. Strike call to him. Same year Bud Norris was drafted. Talking with one of the Reds front office people tonight about the possibility of an international draft.
And talk for the last few years about doing that.
And he said they're discussing it as a part of the labor agreement with the players. He said it would be very difficult to enforce. Players all over the world, everybody's got to try to scout all those guys in various nations. Slow chopper to third. Cairo over. And in the 5th inning, Arroyo looks much stronger now after giving up 3 in the second inning. His club is tied at 3-3 through 5.
Astros baseball on Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, the really big chicken sandwich is back. And by Gullo Automotive, greeting you like family. Stephen and Chris were on the big screen with a proposal, and that's what the cheering was for. She said yes.
That makes it a nice evening no matter what happens on the field. 3-3 ball game, 6th inning opens. Paul Janisch is the batter. He drew an intentional walk and he doubled.
I think she should have said maybe. To leave him hanging.
Strike to Janisch with Arroyo to follow. Wesley Wright came up with a whale of a relief performance tonight for Oklahoma City. 3 2/3 innings of hitless ball after the starting pitcher Harrell was ejected from the game. Lucas Harrell tossed in the second inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. West was here for 3 days but didn't pitch for the Astros this year. Tap foul. It's a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
It's pitch number 100 for Bud. And action now in the Astros bullpen. Escalona begins to loosen up.
Dusty Baker has left-handed hitters in the lineup. Votto, Bruce, Alonso in the middle of the order. 2-2 to Yadish. Doug Brocail involved in this one. That's ripped on a line to left field. And it's a fair ball into the corner. Yadish heads for second base. He's in with a double to lead off the 6th inning. Second double of the night for Yadish.
Yeah, that was a hanging changeup here. Bud just floated that one about belt high over the middle of the plate.
Quite a struggle tonight for Bud Norris.
Well, here comes Mills and Rex Jones.
So it could be that middle finger problem. Sometimes he gets a little blister issue on the pitching hand. In his last 12 starts, he came into this game with an ERA of 3.00. Been something they've been watching for the last few games on Bud. He's coming out. So with this being an injury situation, Escalona or whoever would be chosen here by Brad Mills would get as much warm-up time as he wants. And we'll be right back with the score. Cincinnati 3, Houston 3.
Fox Sports Game Connect, the ultimate online experience for fans. Log on to take part in this interactive forum during Astros games. You get stats, trends, exclusive analysis, and live Twitter feeds. Plus, you can even share your thoughts with the game broadcast. Fox Sports Game Connect, now available on foxsportshouston.com. Brownie, back to you.
Thanks, Bart. And we have a reliever in the game, Fernando Rodriguez. This call to the bullpen is presented by Verizon Wireless. Bud Norris leaving with a finger injury. And Fernando, who got the loss yesterday in Milwaukee, allowing 3 hits and 1 run in 1 inning. Also got the win in his previous outing last Wednesday in St. Louis. So he's been a pitcher with a win and a loss the last 2 outings, and he's 2-1 for the season, JD.
And worked 4 times on that 10-day road trip. A couple of outings in Chicago, then 1 in St. Louis prior to yesterday's outing in Milwaukee. Escalona continues to throw in the pen. He was up anticipating a possible confrontation with Votto, and that obviously still exists. So he continues to get loose out there, but with the injury to Norris and him having to come out of the game right now, Brad Mills calls on his right-hander, Fernando Rodriguez, and as Brownie mentioned before we went to break, because of the injury, he'll get all he needs to get ready to go here.
He threw 20 pitches yesterday, and probably, as you mentioned, with the lefty Escalona getting ready, would not be asked to stay in this game very long. In yesterday's game, he came in the 7th inning and pitched a scoreless frame, but in the 8th, Ryan Braun doubled and Prince Fielder knocked him in. That proved to be the winning run, 5-4 Milwaukee. But nonetheless, Fernando has been pitching well. He's done a nice job out of the Astros bullpen, which is a very young pen this year. And well, all these guys are just getting all kinds of valuable experience along the way. Last 4 outings at home, scoreless ball for Fernando Rodriguez.
And the one thing a pitching coach or a manager will tell a pitcher when he comes into a game like this, hey, don't rush, don't say you're good to go unless you really are good to go. Take your time, make sure you're good and loose and locked in with your delivery. And then the other thing you also remind him of is the game situation. Okay, look, got a man on second here. Pitcher coming up, likely going to try to get a bunt down, make sure you throw a strike, and make sure you get an out.
Arroyo has been thrown out twice by the catcher. First time he put down a bunt in the 2nd inning. Our corner infielders, Lee and Paredes, pinching in tight as Arroyo is trying to advance the runner, Giannis, to third base. Derek Lee has hit a couple of long balls and has driven in all 3 runs for Pittsburgh tonight against his former mates, the Cubs. But the Cubs lead at 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th at PNC Park. Bunted, and that's a good one. Paredes throwing and Altuve receiving. On a sacrifice for Arroyo, his 5th of the year. Giannis to third, 1 out.
Probably be a little disconcerting for an infielder when you get up and you're used to throwing a big target like Carlos, but on a bunt plane you got Altuve over there, 5'5" or whatever he is, covering the back. Well, that's a little smaller target.
Got to thread the needle. Now the infielders, middle infielders in halfway. Lee and the third baseman Paredes. And at the edge of the grass for Stubbs, who's 2 for 3. And Brad Mills was telling us a few days ago he has 4 different depths for his infielders. That's ball 1.
You know, the typical all the way back, all the way in, where they're up at the cut of the infield grass there. Double play depth, and then this kind of little hybrid position where they're not all the way in, but they got a shot to make a play on a runner at third base on a ground ball.
Ground ball foul. 1-1. Yankees lead at Chicago 3-2. They've played 6.
And you'll see some clubs, even with a variation on that, where they'll have one side of their infield in, and the other side will stay back.
In the air, foul, and out of play. 1-2 to Stubbs. Stubbs was drafted by the Astros after high school. They could not reach an agreement on signing him, so he went to the University of Texas, and he was drafted again. He was a first rounder in 06 by the Reds, the 8th player drafted. He's from Texarkana, Texas. He was a high school All-America at Atlanta, Texas. In the dirt, and it's 2-2. Last year, Stubbs had 77 runs batted in. Florida 3, the Mets 1, bottom of the 9th in New York. Started the bat on appeal to first. He checked it. DJ Rayburn with a call. It's 3-2. Milwaukee exploded for 5 in the 5th to lead the Cardinals 5-2 after 5. Curveball got him on strikes. 2 outs. Big strikeout there.
It's one thing as a hitter, you come into this at bat telling yourself, put the ball in play. Got a man on third, can't afford to punch out. Stubbs not really showing any inclination to make an adjustment with the swing with 2 strikes.
That might be why he's whiffed 139 times this year. Cairo singled and scored in the 5th. He's 1 for 2 with a sacrifice. He gets the hook. And as you can see in these last 2 curveballs from Fernando Rodriguez, it's really a good pitch. A 12-6 type break, top to bottom. But it's hard to control that pitch sometimes. He's got it going. It can really be helpful for him.
Whoa.
1-1.
That one sailed on him right up around the coconut of Cairo.
Got nasty in that Detroit Angels game yesterday. Jared Weaver.
Carlos Guillen hit a home run off him and then just stood in the box for a long time, stared out at Weaver. There must have been something going on between those two prior to that.
Must have been.
Or over the course of that game, something was going on because Guillen clearly was calling Weaver out after he took him deep with his mannerisms.
Sure was. He went way over the line. Out into center field. Durango in right center is there for the 3rd out with no runs a hit. A leadoff double, and then Giannis is stranded at 3rd, and the game stays tied at 3. Right after our leaders of the game, brought to you by United, proud to fly the Houston Astros. Jason Bourgeois will lead it off. He's 0 for 2. He has 22 stolen bases this year. He had 15 in his previous 3 Major League Baseball seasons. He actually is averaging just a tick higher in stolen bases per game than Michael Bourne this year. Very aggressive, but he's been unable to reach base so far tonight. 0 for 2, bounced into a double play and grounded out to 3rd. He's had 129 at-bats this year. He's had 2 different injuries. There's strike 1. Real good opportunity for Jason to play right now and bat 3rd. Maybe only an interim type thing, but you know, in an evolving type club, he can make his own way here. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right field is open. He's going to get some chances. It's 2-1.
Well, you know, the new guy, Schaefer's going to play center field. So Booz will get a lot of time in the corners. Ultimately, I think one of those guys will be the center fielder next year. Because I think you're going to have to find more power in the corner outfield positions than Jason's able to bring. So I think he's either the center fielder next year or a fill-in, a 4th outfielder. But he's making a real good case for himself, batting .354.
Arroyo, though, can tie a hitter in knots. And he gets his 2nd strikeout. He's just moving the ball around. This is what he does when he is very effective.
Well, let's see what we got on Game Connect. A tweet coming in. I'm digging the stash on the Astros trainer. Could rival Mr. LeCure thrilling stash.
All right.
Yeah, Sam LeCure, he's got like a whole stash blog going. Sam LeCure, the reliever for the Reds.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, he's got a thing with. I think he had a picture taken with Rex last time they were in town.
Okay.
He's in pursuit of the best mustaches in the National League.
Well, Rex Jones is the front runner.
The Mythbuster.
Carlos Lee has walked and fly to right. Strike 1 to him. Astros had scored just 33 runs in 9 games against the Reds coming into this one. Arroyo can tantalize as he moves the fastball in at the edges of the zone, but he's been high again with that one. Not quite tempting enough. Now he comes in with it, and it's 1-2. He's fun to watch.
He gets a lot of takes on his fastball because he throws so many breaking balls. Guys are looking for the soft stuff, and they don't pull the trigger on his heater.
Popped up. Phillips underneath. 2 outs. Only 70 pitches to this point for Arroyo, and he's doing what he typically has done down through the last 3 years against the Astros. Arroyo hasn't had a quality start since June 19th. Martinez single to right field in the 2nd inning and then grounded out. Clint Barmas is on deck. JD rocks one to shortstop. Janisch regains his footing, throws him out for a quick 6th inning. That's 8 straight outs recorded by Arroyo. Keep it tied 3-3 through 6.
Of the Planet of the Apes. coming to a theater near you. I think I got caught behind one of those apes on I-10 today, Brownie.
Really?
He was weaving all over the place.
That's been known to happen.
Nobody
on
gave
I-10.
him a hard time for it, though.
Well, fortunately, you made it in here safely.
Filthy animals.
Those filthy apes.
Well, that was a good promo. And now it's Escalona coming in. Fernando Rodriguez out of 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. That's very helpful to him. He didn't need that many pitches. And he got 3 outs, so helpful to the ball club as well, JD.
And so now you've got the lefty, righty, lefty coming up, and the two lefties are very potent. Votto, then Phillips, the right-handed bat, then lefty Jay Bruce. So Escalona gets this very critical top half of the 7th inning to navigate.
Votto is 2 for 3, an RBI double in the 3rd, and he scored a run in that inning. Ball 1 to him. Bud Norris in 5 innings plus allowed 10 hits, 3 runs, walking 3, fanning 2.
Pretty impressive right there, hitting .357 against lefties with some power. A lot of times you see good left-handed hitters will be able to maintain a pretty good batting average against lefties, but they'll sacrifice a lot of power. But he's hit 5 of his 17 home runs off left-handed pitching to go along with that big robust batting average.
David Carpenter's warming up for Houston. Strike, and that's 1 and 2 now. It's only the 2nd appearance this year for Escalona against Cincinnati. That's a bad looking swing. He abused him. Strikeout number 4 for Astros pitching.
Yeah, we've seen Votto take some bad hacks over the years, but he usually does it early in the count and then comes back and gives you a good tough AB, but he was clearly fooled there.
Trying that late flick.
Yeah. That's one of the worst swings you'll ever see by a great hitter.
Yeah. Brandon Phillips is 2 for 3 in RBI, but as you pointed out, Votto's one of those guys who can take a bad hack and then come back and rip the ball off the fence.
Bad hacks usually come early because he's cheating.
Yeah.
And then when he gets deeper in the count, he's not cheating as much. But maybe he was looking inside or something there. But anyway, it was a bad swing.
Jacoby, the hitting coach, goes over with him. David Carpenter in the bullpen. Now slowly out to second. Altuve in the lead. 2 outs. A couple of spoiler teams have won tonight. Cubs beat Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh 5-3. Zambrano over Mahalam with Marmol getting a save. And D. Lee of the Pirates now hit 2 homers. And Washington down Atlanta 5-3 in Washington. Levon Hernandez beating Jair Jurgens. Bruce Storen getting his 27th save. Jay Bruce has a double in 3 trips. The Braves who are leading the wild card race. Falling for the 47th time. They were 6 behind the Phillies. Play started tonight. Ball 1 to Bruce.
Big series out west tonight as Arizona plays the Giants.
That is a big one.
And, everybody kind of assuming the Giants are going to win that division, but the Diamondbacks are hanging in there. They're just 2 off the pace.
Fly ball over shortstop, out into left center field. J.D. Martinez is there. In the 7th inning, Escalona gets the Reds in order. And moving to the last of the 7th, it's tied 3-3.
Park. Astros and Reds tied at 3. We want to remind you, baseball fans, that Chevy is proud to support youth baseball leagues in your local community. If you'd like to learn more about Chevy youth baseball programs, go to youthsportswired.com. Let's go back to Bill and JD.
Thank you, Bart. Good ball game here. Fans enjoying the 7th inning stretch. They've watched a 3-3 game through 6.5. Bronson Arroyo hanging in there very well after giving up 3 in the Astros 2nd inning. 2 on a triple by Jimmy Paredes, 1 on a double by Humberto Quintero. Clint Barmas is the batter. He's 2 for 2. 2 singles to left field for Clint. This one goes to left field, and it's looping near the line, and that will be caught on the run by Alonso.
A little bit of an adventure out there for Yonder.
You bet.
Interesting to see how long the Reds stick to this plan. I mean, he made the play here, but he's going to give up some out there. A lot of balls dropping in, I think.
That's 9 straight for Arroyo, and now Jimmy Paredes, who ripped a 2-run triple in the 2nd inning in his first major league at bat. First Astro to do that. Ron Cook hit a triple, but he had walked earlier as he made his major league debut in 1970 at the Astrodome against Pittsburgh. So, Cook technically had a triple in his first at bat, but Paredes, the first Astro to do it in his first plate appearance. Arizona and San Francisco tonight, just about ready to start with Ian Kennedy and Matt Cain. And Paul Goldschmidt is in the starting lineup. 4 balls, 2 strikes.
Watch college basketball in the offseason, Brownie?
Not a lot.
In college basketball, what happens a lot is a team will just come out of the gates just flying up and down the court, and they'll get out to like an 18-2 lead. And you'll think they're going to run this team off the floor. And then the other team will come back. And that's kind of the way this game has gone, because it looked like the Astros were going to knock Arroyo out early. Maybe put a 5 spot on the board against them and get into that bullpen. But I think when he went zone, it really changed things.
Yeah, he can do that. 1 and 2. He did not lose his composure despite a walk and 4 straight hits in the 2nd inning. With some pitchers, they'd be out of the game after that. And the Astros only have 5 hits. He's allowed just 1 hit since then. 2-2 as Bronson Arroyo is pitching the best game for him since his last win, June 25th.
We wondered which Arroyo we would see tonight, the guy who was 0-3 with a 7.42 in July, or this one who has compiled these numbers in his last 7 starts against the Astros. So we saw a little bit of the first guy there in the 2nd inning, but since then it's been vintage Arroyo.
3 balls, 2 strikes now, and Paredes is ready to hit this next one.
Ball 4 base hit. Make sure you get a strike.
Hanging up in center field. Drew Stubbs waiting for it. 2 outs.
Did get a strike. He didn't chase a bad ball. Put a pretty good swing on it.
Humberto Quintero hit the right center field slot for an RBI double in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 2. Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers tonight in San Diego against Corey Lupke. No score after 1/2 inning.
Well, Padres aren't going to score off Kershaw.
Probably or not.
I'm going 7 2/3 scoreless. My prediction for Kershaw tonight.
Most talented Dodger lefty since Vin Scully. That's strike 1.
Wait till Jaime Harim hears about that. You're going to be in trouble, Mr. Brown.
I'm always in trouble, pal. Colorado 2, Philadelphia nothing. Bottom of the 6th at Coors Field. Seth Smith hit number 9 off Cole Hamels. What did you think of the Ubaldo Jimenez trade?
Well, I was a little bit surprised by it. I don't know all the principles. I don't know that much about Cleveland's farm system and who those guys were that went over. I just thought, Ubaldo had such a favorable contract from the club's point of view. I'd be hesitant to trade him, but like all these other deals we've talked about, everybody wants to jump in with who won and who lost, and we'll find out down the road what happens with these kids from Cleveland that went over to the Rockies.
Brandon Phillips is out in shallow center, over the shoulder play, and gets out of the way of Stubbs. On out number 3, that's 11 straight outs for Arroyo. Moving to the 8th, it's tied 3-3.
The 8th, and the Astros wives will host the 22nd annual Black Ties and Baseball Caps Gala right here at Minute Maid Park Thursday, August 18th. The event includes a cocktail reception, dinner, and a silent and live auction with proceeds benefiting the Houston Area Women's Center. To register, go to astros.com/community. That event is always a good time, guys.
We look forward to it every year, and it's for a great cause. Thank you for that, Bart. We go to the 8th inning here. 21,394 tickets sold for this game tonight. It's game 1 of a 6-game homestand, and it's been an entertaining one so far. A 3-3 tie through 7. The Astros got 3 in the second. Reds got 2 in the third, and in the 5th inning, they scored the tying run. They had the bases loaded, nobody out, came away with 1 run to tie.
Yeah. Two real big plays in this game. Bud Norris getting that double play off the bat of Jay Bruce, really cleaning up that inning. Could have been a lot worse. And then, of course, Carlos getting thrown out at third back in the second, trying to go first to third on a little pop up to center with nobody out.
Yonder Alonso takes from Escalona, and it's ball 1. Escalona retired 3 in a row in the 7th inning, and there's a right-hander, David Carpenter, warming up in the bullpen. This might be the only man he faces in the 8th. It's a bouncer slowly hit. Escalona stretching. 1 unassisted, 1 out. He's gotten 4 in a row now. Quintero looking over to the bench. And we'll see with right-handed hitting Hannigan and Yanish coming up. Here comes Brad Mills. So he wants the right-hander, the pitcher spot due to lead off in the bottom of the 8th inning for Brad Mills. But Escalona's gotten 4 big outs for him. And if he tried to get a couple more, that might make him unavailable for tomorrow night. Reds have some potent left-handed hitters. He's the lefty in the bullpen. It's 3-3 in the 8th inning. Back in a moment. notes. July leaders, Dustin Pedroia, 4-11 in July. Aramis Ramirez hit 9 bombs. Nelson Cruz drove in 26. And Weaver going 5-1 with a 1.62 ERA, with John Axford getting 11 saves. David Carpenter comes in with Hannigan and Giannis due up here in the 8th inning.
David Carpenter has worked 9 times, 0-1 with an ERA of 5.40. He got off to a great start. First handful of times out. It's been a little bit bumpy since then, working 3 times on the 10-game road trip, a third of an inning each time. Lost the ball game in Chicago, got touched up a little bit in St. Louis. He's got a couple of right-handed hitters coming up, and Dusty Baker only has the one left-handed bat on his bench, Fred Lewis.
Ryan Hannigan is 0 for 2 with a walk. That's ball 1 from Carpenter, who struck out Ryan Braun with the bases loaded Friday night in Milwaukee, and the Astros 4-0 loss.
Action in the Reds bullpen as Dusty will no doubt hit for Arroyo if his turn comes up.
Right-hander Nick Massett's warming up. Slider drops in, and it's a 1-1 count. Arroyo is set down 11 in a row. Yankees lead at 3-2 at Chicago in the bottom of the 8th.
Only Derek Jeter's got a broken finger.
Ooh, didn't know it was broken. Okay. Saw the note that he wasn't playing tonight. Yeah, he got hit by a pitch on that right hand. It was wrapped around the bat.
Have you seen the documentary on HBO on Jeter?
Have not.
Jeter 3K? Or...
Oh, is it?
It's really good.
Carpenter throws the fastball, and it's 2-2. And how about the situational show in the Giants? Have you seen that?
I have not seen that.
Sounds like
they call it the franchise.
Franchise. Yeah. Making pitch makes it 3-2 now, and Carpenter mixing the fastball with his slider. The first few appearances he was probably 90-95% fastballs, but he's gotten away from that since then.
I think two things happened. That's a great slider there. But 2 things happen for a young pitcher when they first come to the big leagues. One, especially for a relief pitcher, with so much adrenaline, he probably feels like he might not be able to control his breaking ball, and he just relies on that good right arm. And then, secondly, the catchers don't know him all that well, and they might just continue to call fastballs. And as a young player, you just kind of do what the catcher says. And it takes a while before you settle in, and the other guy learns you, and you learn, oh, wait a minute, this is my game out here. I've got to be willing to shake to what I feel like I want to throw.
Giannis has a pair of doubles and the intentional walk. Good heater there for strike 1 at 93. Carpenter among those, who has made his major league debut for the Astros this year. Obtained in a trade for Pedro Feliz with St. Louis. No balls, 2 strikes. David just turned 26 about 2 weeks ago. Cleveland down Boston 9-6 at Fenway. As Drupal Cabrera hit a couple of homers, giving him 19 now. Still 0-2. The Tribe apparently, what happened was, from what we were hearing, they're just negotiating away, trying to get the Rockies right-hander Ubaldo Jimenez. The deal wasn't quite closed, so the Rockies let Jimenez take the mound. Some people thought it might have been to get one more prospect from Cleveland. He pitched 1 inning. They took him out of the game. Then he finally cleared the physical, and he made the deal. 1-2.
And one of the players is the player to be named later because he can't be traded until a year passes from when he signed. Yeah. He was in the draft last year, and he was kind of the prize of the deal.
Yeah, he was their first pick last year. And the other, Alex White, is very highly regarded too. So the Tribe really thought twice or maybe more than that about parting with those prospects, but in a favorable position to go for it. They haven't been there for a few years, and they're going for it. And the deal too, very attractive in terms of Ubaldo Jimenez's salary for the next few years. So they're not getting him just for a stretch drive acquisition. Foul away. Still 1-2. 10 hits for the Reds, 5 for the Astros. No errors in the game tonight. The Reds have stranded 8. The Astros have left 2. So many more scoring opportunities for Cincinnati. But 2 double plays. One on a strikeout throwout, the other on a ground ball, have gone against the Reds in this game. Fastball grounded to shortstop. Barmas with the throw for out number 3. The relief pitching is airtight for the Astros. It's 9 straight outs for the relievers, and it's tied at 3.
Astros and Reds still tied up at 3. Hey, you can follow the Astros with MLB.com @BAT11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Astros.com for details. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. Bottom of the 8th inning now. Jason Michaels will be the pinch hitter for David Carpenter, who in 2/3 of an inning allowed no hits, no runs with no walks. He struck out 1. Sergio Escalona retired 4 straight with a strikeout. Fernando Rodriguez 3 straight with a strikeout. Great relief work for the Astros, and now they'd like some runs. Jason Michaels hitting. Fouling it away, there's strike 1. He is 2 for 4 in his career against Arroyo. 167 as a pinch hitter with 1 RBI. J. Mike is 5 for 30. No balls, 2 strikes. Arroyo has set down 11 in a row. Astros relievers have retired 9 straight. Michael started yesterday in right field.
Certainly understandable that Dusty Baker would stay with Arroyo the way he has settled in and taken control of this game, but there has to be some level of concern because of all the home runs he allows. One swing of the bat, and you could be suffer a tough loss here.
Short hop play by Cairo.
Yeah. The guys who follow J. Mike, though, not home run hitters, Durango and Altuve, so that's not as big a concern.
Durango walked in the first. He's 0 for 2.
Expression of relief from Cairo after the play as he gets caught with a little bit of a tough hop to contend with.
Sure did. Now we get a pinch hitter, Brian Bogusevic. He's going to be pinch hitting for Durango. And Bogusevic just rejoining the Astros today from Oklahoma City. He's been here a couple times. Now here's Brian Price going out to the mound. This is the third stint for Bogusevic, and he's hitting 194, 7 for 26. Arroyo is ready to face him with Altuve on deck. Bogusevic in 57 games with Oklahoma City was hitting 264. 3 homers, 35 runs batted in. A 194 for the Astros, and he's trying to come through and get on for Altuve. Taking strike one. Milwaukee still leading 5-2, bottom of the 7th inning at home against St. Louis.
Backdoor slider looks like it was off the plate. Cousins thought it was good enough.
Chris Carpenter gave up 5 runs in 5 innings for the Cardinals tonight. Zach Greinke 6 innings, 2 runs. Broken bat. Phillips tracks it down, falls, and can't get it over to first. The barrel of the bat just a few feet away, and that's a pinch single for Bogusevic.
What a play that almost was by Brandon Phillips, the Gold Glove second baseman, showing tremendous range and great concentration with a half a bat flying at his head. And the bat appeared to be chasing him as he made that play, and just couldn't get the handle.
Single for Bogusevic. The wood went flying. 12 straight had been retired by Arroyo. Now the Astros have their first base runner since the 4th inning when Barman singled. Altuve's 0 for 3. Bourgeois on deck. Out toward left center field. Stubbs is over with the catch for the second out. Bourgeois is 0 for 3.
So if you're Brad Mills, here's what you're contemplating. Do I have a better chance getting an extra base hit from Bourgeois and scoring Bogusevic? Or do I take a shot at trying to steal a base where a single will get the job done? Might let the count dictate what they do.
Arroyo falls behind. It's 1-0. Carlos Lee on deck.
The Astros, because they have such little power in the lineup, have to be willing to take a few more chances on the bases. You have to be able to draw that line between being aggressive and being reckless.
Total of 19 Major League homers in the Astros starting lineup for this game. Ball back. 1-1.
And it's not like the dynamics have changed all that much with this club. This is a team that has struggled to hit home runs all year. But in Johnson and Wallace, they had 2 guys that they thought would hit home runs.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, the expectation. What you feel a player's capable of doing. Bourgeois just hit his second Major League long ball yesterday. Jason had not gone deep since 2009 until he powered one out yesterday in Milwaukee.
Tough to get a daring lead on Arroyo. He's got a quick pickoff move.
Giants got a first inning run against Arizona in San Francisco on a Cody Ross homer, his 8th. certainly watching as Arroyo throws over again, trying to make sure that the Astros do not take liberty on the bases. Two balls and a strike.
That's the one thing you got to guard against if you're Dusty. You know, whether Dusty's calling for those throws over or Arroyo's doing it on his own, you don't want to take your pitcher out of his rhythm. You saw there they were trying to go down and away with a fastball, and Arroyo tried to unload quickly to give Hannigan a shot, but he made a bad pitch to way up and in.
Well, back and it's 2-2. Houston-born Jason Bourgeois went to Forest Brook High School. Second-round pick of the Rangers in 2000. And he bounced around Atlanta, Seattle, White Sox, back to Milwaukee, claimed on waivers by the Astros after the 09 season. Last year he hit .220 for Houston in 123 at-bats. Runner going. Swing and a miss, and that ends it in the 8th inning. No runs a hit, a man stranded. We move to the 9th inning. Cincinnati 3, Houston 3.
Recap show as we hear from coaches and prominent players from across the league as we get ready for the 2011 kickoff. It's our CUSA Media Day recap show Friday at 4 o'clock only on Fox Sports Houston. University of Houston and Rice getting ready for what they hope will be big seasons for them, guys.
Great time of anticipation for them. Brian Bogusevic stays in to play right field after pinch hitting for Durango, and that means the center fielder is somebody new. Jason Bourgeois moving over from right to center after Durango left the game. For the pinch hitter Bogusevic. We go to inning number 9, and it's Mark Melanson on the mound. Brad Mills coming with his closer in a tie game to face a pinch hitter Heisey, then Stubbs and Cairo.
49 times Mark has trotted out there, 5-3, 10 saves, including his last 2 appearances. Pitching to a 3.10 ERA. Fastball, good cutter, and curveball, primary weapons for Mark. Here's Heisey. Handles the bat pretty well. He's 8 out of 27 in the pinch this year with a home run and 8 driven in.
Very good numbers for Heisey. In fact, their whole ball club has done well. 41 pinch hits and 127 at bats. Over a 300 pinch hit batting average, which is spectacular. There's ball 1 to Heisey.
League average is probably below 200.
Yeah. Heisey's been getting a lot of regular playing time as well. He leads major league pinch hitters and runs batted in with the 8. Driving Matt Downs. He bunts. That stays fair. Barehanded. Paredes with a throw, but not in time. Smart play by Heisey. Leading off the 9th inning with a bunt single.
Could not make a better bunt than this.
Hit number 11 for the Reds. Gives them a leadoff man aboard here in the 9th inning, and Drew Stubbs is the batter. Stubbs has 2 singles to left field. He's 2 for 4. Paredes moves in at third.
Situation calls for a bunt. I don't know if Stubbs is a very good bunter. You'd think as a leadoff man he would be capable, but he's more of a big man's game.
Has 2 sacrifice bunts. Heisey's 4 for 5 in stolen bases. Melanson got his most recent save Thursday night in St. Louis. The 5-3 Astros win. Bunted back toward the pitcher. Melanson looks at second, throws to first just in time to get the speedy Stubbs. 1 out. Heisey into scoring position for Cairo.
Good execution of little ball here by the Reds in the top half of the 9th. A bunt single and a successful sacrifice by Stubbs. Can't take too long of a look because of his speed.
Cairo singled and scored in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 3. Put down a sacrifice bunt in the 1st.
And Brad Mills right now is thinking, okay, let's get Cairo and then we'll walk Votto and go after Phillips.
Yeah. Votto is 2 for 4 with an RBI tonight. Has a 16-game hitting streak in this ballpark now. Cairo looks at ball 1. CC Sabathia won his 16th tonight. Yankees 3, White Sox 2.
Oh, he's been dealing.
16 and 5 with a 2.55 ERA. Beat Jake Peavy. Curve is good for a strike. That makes it 1-1 to Cairo. He's looking back.
Cairo's saying it's the same pitch, Darrell, and our Fox tracks would say, yes, you're right. It was the same pitch, but they were both strikes. That would be great if the umpire ever said that. That was the same pitch. Okay, 0-2 then.
Beautiful. Fastball popped up. Carlos underneath.
The bold heater right there.
It was. Got a lot of home plate, but it's good for out number 2. The 2 curveballs set it up.
Slow that bat down a little bit.
Joey Votto 2 for 4 tonight. Yeah, it would be surprising if he sees anything to hit here. He's hitting .394 lifetime at Minute Maid Park coming into this game.
Not that Phillips is a slouch, but Votto one of the better hitters in the game, the reigning MVP, and a left-handed batter at that.
He'll take the intentional pass. And that'll leave it up to Phillips. But Phillips also, like Votto, is 2 for 4 with an RBI tonight.
Wow. Q showing good range in this intentional walk.
Right-handed hitters are hitting .246 against Melanson with 1 homer and 114 at bats.
Mark ought to be locked in by now. Hit him right in the chest with this one. There you go.
Left-handed hitters actually are hitting for a lower batting average against Melanson, but it's not right-left so much as this is Joey Votto we're talking about. And he takes the stroll. Brandon Phillips is having problems with the sliders from Bud Norris.
And the other thing about Votto, you know, he's such a disciplined hitter. You're not going to give in. If you decide to pitch to him, you're not going to give in to him. There's a real good chance he's going to work the walk anyway. Instead of putting your pitcher through all that stress, just put him on and play the matchup game with the right-handed hitter.
Runners at first and second, 2 outs for Phillips. He takes ball 1. In the Astros ninth, Lee Martinez and Barmas are due up. Reds closer Francisco Cordero has been perfect in his career in saves against Houston, 23 for 23. Reds have seen a lot of Mark Melancon this season. He has faced them on 6 occasions. He got a win and a hold, and he has not been charged with a run against Cincinnati. Drops that one in for a strike.
Let me amend that comment I made on Jeter earlier. For all you fantasy players, don't panic if you have Jeter. It is a bruised, not a broken finger.
Okay. Well, you're just trying to stir up a little action in their evening.
Yeah. Trying to create a trade.
Jay Bruce is on deck. Phillips backing out of there. Total of 5 shutout innings for Melancon against the Reds this season. Phillips throws his head back as Quintero goes to the mound. Clint Barmas runs in.
A lot of thinking going on here as the go-ahead run is out there on second base. They want to make sure they're on the same page.
Melancon has a career ERA of 0 against the Reds in 8. Flips to the mound with a 1-0 record. Phillips has driven in 61. It's back in the box. In the air, right field line. It's foul. It's out of play. 1-2. Very entertaining game tonight. The Astros got 3 in the second inning, but the Reds answered with 2 in the third. They tied it in the 5th, and it stayed tied since then.
And the Astros bullpen versus Bronson Arroyo since the 5th inning, and both have been very, very good.
For Arroyo, 8 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, walking 2, he fanned 3. Now 2-2. Phillips, 30 years old. He drove in 59 last year. And a curveball strikes him out. Big inning for Mark Melancon, putting up a 0 after the leadoff pinch bunt single by Heisey. Stranding 2, and it's 3-3. Bottom of the 9th ahead. 3-3. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. Bronson Arroyo with an excellent start tonight. And now the bullpen comes into play. And Chris Heisey, after pinch hitting for Arroyo, stays in to play left field. Yonder Alonso leaving after going 0 for 3 with a walk. And the new pitcher is right-hander Nick Massett.
Massett's been a busy man this year. He works for the 54th time. 1-4 with a 3.44 ERA. A hard thrower, a fastball averaging about 95 miles an hour. He also throws a cutter, a curveball, and a very good split finger pitch. He's allowed just the 4 home runs. The league hits 254 against him. Dusty Baker likes to call on this big hard throwing right-hander.
He's called on him 5 times this year against the Astros. 4 scoreless appearances and a loss in Cincinnati. On a Matt Downs 2-out RBI double in the 9th. Carlos Lee leads it off here in the 9th inning. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. J.D. Martinez is on deck. Clint Barmas is due to bat third. 6 career walk-off homers for Lee. And he looks at ball 1. Massett, 29 years old, from St. Petersburg, Florida, went to UNLV. Pitched 82 times last year for the Reds. That was 3rd in appearances in the National League. Popped up. This will be back out of play for Hannigan. It's 1-1. Battling the Cincinnati Reds tonight to the bottom of the 9th inning. Norris started for Houston, left with a finger injury. 4 relievers have really stopped the Reds cold. Now the Astros trying to score for the first time since the 2nd inning. Massett has done a number on Carlos Lee. There's a play by Phillips. And he is terrific at second base. 1 out. J.D. Martinez singled and scored in the 2nd.
Shading towards the middle, but still a very nice play. Ball really well struck by Carlos. Phillips eats it up and flips on over to first base.
13 last at bat wins for the Astros this season. Martinez singled in the 2nd inning, and he's grounded out twice since then. Said his legs were shaking when he was in the on-deck circle before making his debut in Milwaukee over the weekend. He ripped the ball on one bounce off the center field wall.
Yeah, that same stroke would work here.
Yeah, it would. Well, that stroke has held up well over time throughout the minor league portion of his career. He looks at that, and it's a 2-ball, no strike count. Reds relievers have a 3.18 ERA. That's 5th best in the National League. Now 3-0 to J.D. Martinez.
Green light him.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Go ahead, hit a game-winning home run.
He was the MVP of the South Atlantic League, despite the fact that he was promoted out of that league last July 16th. Fly ball to right. On 3-0, he did get the green.
I like it. I like the call. I like give him a chance to let the kid inflict a little damage, go for a big extra base hit, maybe even knock one out of the ballpark. Just didn't get the head out. He got a fastball out away from him a little bit.
Clint Barmas has hit the ball to left field all 3 times tonight. 2 singles and a fly ball for Clint. 305 career hitter against the Reds. 1 career walk-off homer. Jimmy Paredes is on deck. As it falls behind 1-0.
He's leading off the inning. You have him take there because you're trying to manufacture a run, nobody out. You'll take that walk, but as you move down towards the bottom of the order, Martinez, one of the guys who's got a little pop in his bat, so you want him to try to do some damage.
Ground ball third, off the glove of the diving Cairo into left field. Barmas is on with his third hit.
Cairo towards the line there to take away the extra base hit. And Barmas able to take advantage of that. It wasn't tight to the line, but a step or two. He's normal at a normal position. It's right at him.
Off his glove and on through. Hit number 7 for the Astros. Now Jimmy Paredes with a 2-run triple in his first major league plate appearance in the second. He is 1 for 3. Looks at ball 1. Paredes was the MVP of the New York Penn League in 09. Playing for Staten Island. Milton Lopez is warming up for Houston. It falls behind him 2-0 with Humberto Quintero on deck. Brewers 6, Cardinals 2, bottom of the 8th in Milwaukee. Paredes fouls it back.
Got to let the bat fly.
Paredes was in spring training this year. The Astros got a look at him. Throw goes over on Barmas.
It'd be kind of fun if he were to drive in the winning run and Melanson get the win. Both guys coming over in the Berkman deal last year.
How things can change in a hurry in this sport. 2-2.
A good splitter there from Mass at 87 miles an hour with tremendous late movement. The dive bomber.
Another throw to first. Boy, they are making throw after throw on Clint Barmas. Seattle got 5 in the second to lead Oakland 5-0 after 2. And a swing and a miss ends it. A foul tip strikeout in the 9th inning. No runs a hit, a man stranded, moving to extra innings. It's tied at 3.
Feed your wild side. Now to the booth, the wild man himself, Bill Brown.
It's a wild game, Greg. And we go to extra innings. As you see the game summary, Johnny Paredes with a 2-run triple in his first Major League plate appearance in the second. The Astros have used 7 rookies. Joey Votto's 2 for 4. He has a 16-game hitting streak now at Minute Maid Park. The Astros bullpen has authored 4 shutout innings.
Yeah, the bullpen has been outstanding here tonight. And now Mark has Jay Bruce starting up to home plate. And remember, Alonso came out of the game, so it'll be Fred Lewis coming off the bench to hit after Bruce. He, too, a left-handed hitter.
And Ryan Hannigan is due up third. Lance goes to work in his second inning against Bruce, who's 1 for 4. That's strike 1 to Bruce. He hit that game-winning homer off Tim Burdack in the clinching game for the division title for the Reds last year. Strike makes it 0-2.
A lot of options now. Way up with a heater, cutter in, bounce the curveball. Bounce the curveball.
1-2. This time Melanson worked more than 1 inning. He went 2 1/3 here against Pittsburgh in an 11-inning game. That was the 17th of July. In tight with that, and it's 2-2. Astros have Melanson due up second in the bottom half of the 10th after Quintero leads off.
Bruce has got some 40 or 50 family and friends here. Beaumontians, whatever you would call somebody from Beaumont. Beaumonters.
Ground ball. Carlos Lee behind the base. Underhand toss. 1 out. And we get Lewis as the pinch hitter now for Massett. Massett in 1 inning allowed 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout.
Is it hilly over there in Beaumont?
Not sure.
Wouldn't the translation of Beaumont be beautiful mountain?
Probably
Beaumont?
So. Could be.
I really thought of that as a mountainous region.
You're way too educated to be in this booth, pal. Lewis, the pinch hitter, with Logan Andrusek warming up. Now you're spouting French.
Every chance I get, Brownie. Like Gomez Adams.
In tight, there's ball 1 to Lewis. Former San Francisco Giant. Hitting
Wow.
.270.
Those pinch hitting numbers.
That is terrific.
I looked it up. League average for the National League is .215. So these guys are way above average.
They belong to Woodlands then. 1-1. Well, you have Lewis 9 for 19. Cairo's 7 for 21. Izzy's 8 for 27. Renteria's 4 for 8. Now it's a great group of pinch hitters. Broken bat. It rolls out to second. Altuve flips it over to first. 2 down. Melanson gets that extra reward for a pitcher who puts a sting in the hands of the hitter.
Yeah, he's you know, they had a couple of base runners in that last inning off him, but it was a bunt single and an intentional walk. And didn't put the barrel of the bat on the ball at all off of him.
Ryan Hannigan has been on with a walk in the 4th inning. He's 0 for 3. Francisco Cordero has joined Logan Andrusek in the Reds bullpen. Yanis on deck. And there's ball 1. The Astros turned to double play in the 5th inning as the Reds scored the tying run. No scoring since then. It's on the edge, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. 10 men left on base for Cincinnati, 4 for Houston, 11 hits for the Reds to 7 for the Astros. Cordero and Andrusek.
Hitting that outside corner.
Yes, he is. 1-2. Colorado 3, the Phillies 1, bottom of the 8th at Coors Field. Chris Iannetta hit number 11. Two balls, 2 strikes. Escalona needed only 10 pitches to get 4 outs for the Astros tonight. Melancon's thrown 27, 14 of them strikes. Fouled away. Still 2-2 to Ryan Hannigan.
Well, Milwaukee draws first blood in that series with the Cardinals. They win 6-2. That's gone final in Milwaukee. Greinke beat Carpenter.
Those folks have to be pumped at Miller Park
Oh,
tonight.
yeah, they're doing the polka. They got it all going on. It's now a 3.5 game lead for the Crew, the Brew Crew. Bob Uecker's all fired up.
7 straight wins for them. Pittsburgh lost, so they drop 5.5 behind Milwaukee. And Cincinnati needs to win to stay 6.5 back. Greinke could be indeed the key to that club. It's 3-2 now. There's a look at it as it stands right now. Cubs beat the Cardinals last night and beat the Pirates tonight. Hit to shortstop. Barmas with the play. To end the 10th inning in 1-2-3 fashion. Mark Melancon second, scoreless frame. Now the bottom of the 10th with Quintero to lead off. And we'll see what happens in a moment. The bottom of the 10th in a moment. Pitcher number 3 is on the mound for Dusty Baker. After Nick Massett worked a scoreless 9th inning, it's Logan Andrusek, the big 6'7" right-hander from Shiner, Texas. He went to McLennan Community College. He's 4-3 with an ERA of 1.97.
Got some nice arms in that bullpen, don't they?
They really do.
And for both sides, they got some talented hard throwing righties, a couple of good lefties. Billy Bray, and of course Chapman from Cuba, the kid that throws 103 miles an hour. Now it's big, tall Logan Andrusek coming in behind Massett.
Well, Logan has very quickly moved up the ladder into important assignments after being drafted in the 13th round in 05. Pitched 60 times last year, going 5-0 with a 3.68 ERA. This is his 6th appearance this year against the Astros. Humberto Quintero leads it off. He had the RBI double in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 3. And he cracks a line drive hit to left field. Jumping on the first pitch from Andrusek. Lead-off single for Quintero, and a 2 for 4 night for Q.
Andrusek throwing that fastball right over the heart of the plate. Q with the head out in front. Delivers the lead-off single.
That will be Angel Sanchez.
Trying to throw that ball to the outside edge, and it ran back to the middle. Sanchez most likely will be asked to bunt here. Strategy employed by the Reds in the top half of the 9th. After the leadoff bunt single, they sacrificed Heisey over, but they couldn't make anything happen.
7 for 24 as a pinch hitter. Angel has put down 9 sacrifice bunts to lead all position players for Houston. Quintero draws a throw. And he swings away. Good results, as you saw in the 7 for 24. And we would expect a bunt. Bogusevic's on deck. The bunt goes third base way and trickles foul. Strike 1 for Sanchez. Came up yesterday in a pinch hit situation and drew a walk.
And again, you know, talked earlier about the Astros having to be a little aggressive on the bases because they don't have a lot of firepower in their lineup. And even though this is, you know, certainly a bunt situation, could understand it if they gambled a little bit, started a base runner, just tried to play a little hit and run, just don't want to give up any outs.
Well, he wasn't bunting there. He's taking, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch up and in. But quite often they'll change it up from pitch to pitch.
Well, you know, you get a successful bunt down here, so you got a man on second and 1 out, and then you've got Bogusevic and Altuve coming up. You're the guy with a world of experience, not proven run producers.
Goes over first. Andrusek took a loss Monday in the game against the Mets, giving up 2 runs. That snapped his scoreless streak. He had had 11 straight outings and 8 2/3 innings without allowing a run. Runner going, line drive, hit into center field. Quintero will head for third base. And the Astros do allow Sanchez to swing away, and he responds with a pinch single.
That's what I'm talking about. So many times you see innings fizzle when you give up that out. And Sanchez, a competent handler of the bat. Why not gamble a little bit? Start the base runner. I love it.
Now first and third, nobody out for Bogusevic.
Reds have to pull infield in, have to shorten up the outfield. Good aggressive call by Brad Mills.
I'm going to put him on and load the bases. Create a force out at any base with Altuve coming up. Bogusevic got a broken bat pinch single in the 8th inning. Now this time will not have a chance to win the game, but Altuve will. He's 0 for 4. And we're going to have a size mismatch coming up here with Andrusek about a foot taller than Altuve.
A little David and Goliath for you here, Brownie.
That's beautiful. So much fun to watch small players do well in baseball against the Giants. First time the Astros have had a man in scoring position since the 2nd inning. They are 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Altuve 0 for 4. His 3rd major league RBI would be a game winner if he can get it here.
Outfielders cranking their arms, getting ready to make a throw home on a fly ball, shortening up.
Lively crowd. He pulls it foul. Watch out, Dave Clark. His helmet went flying as he sashayed out of the way.
Those old boxing skills, the quick feet served him well there, boy.
It really did.
Ball.
A little Olay. Quintero, the runner at third, the important man here. No balls, 2 strikes. Jason Bourgeois on deck. Andrusek has the bases loaded. Nobody out. Altuve drove in 59 runs in the minors this year. 1-2. Andrusek got his first major league win against the Astros last year, right here at Minute Maid Park. Up the middle, and Phillips diving, throws to the plate, gets the force, dropped the ball, he dropped it, and the game is over. Hannigan couldn't hold on, and the Astros win it here in the bottom of the 10th. Tremendous play by Phillips. And he got an arm target throw to Ryan Hannigan, who had it there in time to get the force, but couldn't hold it. And Altuve sends the Astros home winners.
What a way to win a ball game. Unbelievable play by Brandon Phillips, and Ryan Hannigan, for whatever reason, could not hang on to that baseball. But great call by Brad